Hello and welcome. I'm John from Storm Fitness Academy, and I wanted to talk to you this morning about a question that I get asked a lot, and I can totally understand how people would find it confusing. I've been very confused over this question in the past, and if I'm completely honest, at times I still question my understanding of the topic. But I'm going to tell you how I understand it and how it works for me and how it's worked for people that I've been training over the years. So the question is, what is better, continuous steady state training or interval training? And it's not something you can answer with a simple one or the other. It really does depend on the individual. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about steady state training first, or continuous training. So steady state training is where you're exercising at a continuous intensity. So that could be the same speed, you're going for a jog and not really varying your pace. Now there's a lot of research out there that says there's not a huge amount of benefit to doing that. Or certainly at first, when you first start training using those methods, you'll plateau quite quickly. But it still has its place. When you first start exercising, to go straight into something more challenging like intervals can be quite intimidating. And when we first start exercising, building the exercise habit, we want to enjoy exercise. And just carrying out some steady state exercise might be more enjoyable, certainly more sustainable. Also, the nature of intervals is it's quite intense. It can be anyway. Can we exercise very intensely every single day? No, not particularly. Now, we do need to break those days up with some recovery days and some slightly easier exercise. So, yes, we can argue there's some benefits to intervals, which we'll talk about in a sec, but steady state still has its place. Now, where I like to use it is on days where, I don't really want to push myself. I've been working really hard. I want to stay active. I don't want to completely rest. So that's when I do some steady state. So, what I'm doing now, going for a walk, that'd be classed as steady state. When I finish the video, I'll probably take it to a light jog and just hold that pace. Not too challenging. I'm burning calories. I am using my aerobic system. But I'm not challenging my anaerobic system. So let's talk about intervals. Now, we mentioned earlier a bit about the research. Well, there's been lots of research done, and we've got the scientist Tabata. He's done some studies on it, which was the 20 seconds of intense exercise broken up with 10 seconds of rest. His little study found that 4 minutes of intervals versus 40 minutes of steady state had more significant improvements to cardiovascular fitness and even influenced fat loss better. There was another study that showed by doing 4 minutes at 90 to 95% of your max heart rate, broken up with 3 minutes at 70% of your max heart rate, just 4 times, was far more significant for improving VO2 max when compared to just steady state again, 45 minutes I think it was. In fact, I need to do more of it. I'm getting out of breath walking up this hill. So when we're looking for, the common term at the moment is the most bang for your buck. So we don't have a lot of time on our hands. If time is limited and we want to choose an exercise system that's going to have the biggest impact, yes, intervals is probably going to beat your steady state constant pace training. So to sum it all up, my advice would be do both if you have the time. If time is limited, then you choose what's going to be the most effective. And 2 to 3 interval sessions